Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Girly Nerd Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all things pop culture, movies, TV, theme parks, all the fun things. Tonight, my guest is my friend, Mr. Webba. Thank you again for being on my podcast.
Of course, thank you so much for having me on. Our last video that we did together was really amazing. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do this topic for the Star Wars. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So we're going to be delving into the Star Wars universe, specifically there's 11 Star Wars films. So we won't be talking about the TV shows, just the movies. And we're going to be giving our rankings of the 11 films and seeing how they differ. I will also have like star ratings, like out of 5, just to see, as you said before we started, what's our highest high and what's our lowest low, and see how everything differs. Now, for me, I've loved Star Wars since I was a little kid. I am dating myself, but I'm old enough to remember. I didn't see him in the theater. I'm not that old, but we had VHS tapes of the original, not special edition, original Star Wars movies. And then I remember my brother and I were so excited to see the special editions when they were released in theaters. So we went and saw those in theaters. And then we got the VHS tapes of those editions. And then DVDs and whatnot. So I've always loved Star Wars. Are you kind of the same? Did you have a similar experience?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm not old enough either to have seen the movies in theaters. I just remember that my mom, she had all these awesome, amazing movies. One of those being Star Wars, and we had also the VHS tapes as well. And I watched those, and I loved the dog fighting, the lightsabers, the laser blasters, right? The space combat, all that stuff, right? Force powers from the Jedi, and of course, you cannot forget the John Williams music that actually just came into play at Disneyland Resort in Galaxy's Edge, which is really awesome. But that music is so iconic. And I watched it growing up, but I didn't really see my first Star Wars movie in theaters until The Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1 came out. I think it was about like 8, 9, or 10, somewhere around that age range when that came out. But I remember I watched the original 3 movies over and over and over again. And there's something like those movies are so tangible. There's something so physical and grounded about those movies. And they're just really good. The action, the characters, I don't know. Something about it is like very lovable to put it in simple terms. But yeah, great stuff. I love Star Wars. I grew up playing games from like LucasArts when that was a company, Star Wars Battlefront, Rogue Squadron. Dogfighting games, amazing. There's plenty of others as well. Knights of the Old Republic. So yeah, a lot of great stuff out there for Star Wars. Although I never read the EU stuff. I was never really a book reader anyway. I don't know about if you read those. I know a lot of people like them. I wasn't really into it just because I don't like to read books in the first place. But I heard there were some cool stories in there.
Yeah, I had one. I believe it was called The Courtship of Princess Leia, and I don't really remember it. Actually, it's funny enough, I found it the other day when we were cleaning out the garage. I'm like, I'm keeping this. Because I don't remember the book at all, but I know I read it. And being a girl, I liked the romance part of the story, so that's why I got that one. I don't know anything about any of the other ones. I'm glad you mentioned the score, because that's Star Wars music is like one of the most iconic scores ever. And, John Williams is the GOAT. Everything he does is so great. Kind of a toss-up, which is the greatest score ever in general. And then for him, I mean, Star Wars is up there. I don't know. I don't think it's really hard to decide that, but the movies wouldn't be what they are without that music.
Yeah. Yes, because here's the thing too, and this also goes the same with Galaxy's Edge, why I was such a huge proponent of it getting the music, because the music isn't just the soundtrack, which it is a soundtrack, but the thing is with the music, right? These stories and the movies are so iconic. If you just hear the music and close your eyes, you can tell what the scenes are. You know what the emotional role play is there with those pieces that John Williams set with that soundtrack. And it's just, it fits everything so well, and it literally, it can tell, you can tell a story with just the musical melodies alone of that soundtrack. So yeah, it was one of the best iconic pieces of music in cinema history.
Yes, and I agree. I'm so happy they brought the music to Galaxy's Edge. It just it felt so wrong to have no music in there. I mean, just because they're so synonymous. And I don't know about you, but the land felt kind of dead without it. It just was lacking energy and life. And I mean, I haven't been there since they added it, but I can't wait to hear it, firsthand. But I've seen videos and stuff, and it really does so much to, just bring that sort of Star Wars feeling to the land. I still think the land needs other things.
Oh, I agree, 100%. It definitely is other things, but this for sure, it's a start. It's a start in the right direction. It does give it, like you said, a lot of more vibes, gives it more energy, because the music in itself is like a character almost. Like I said, it does tell the story. And when you think of Star Wars, you think of, the Luke theme, right? And all the other themes that encompass it. But, if you just go in there and there's no music, you're like, is this Star Wars? Like, you need that music in there. But anyways, music is great. And I loved with the prequel movies too. I know that those movies get a lot of hate, but the music that came into those movies as well were awesome.
So that some of the best music in the Star Wars universe is from those movies. And I'm glad you brought up the video games. Now, I'm not really a video game player. I did play, my brother loved video games, and he had the Nintendo and he had Sega, and I played them a little bit. I played Sega more than Nintendo, but I would play like the Disney ones. He did have a Star Wars Nintendo game, and I was not good at it. I tried. So basically I just kind of watch him play.
Yeah.
But it's notoriously very difficult game. And I don't think he ever got very far in it.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the older games were pretty hard, to be honest. But I remember there was a game for the Nintendo 64. I had Shadows of the Empire and I had Rogue Squadron. Those two games I just played over and over. One was a dogfighting game, Rogue Squadron, which is why I actually, Girly Nerd, I was really excited a couple of years ago when I guess it was announced Patty Jenkins, who directed the Wonder Woman movies. When she made that huge trailer thing with the X-wing in the background, like her great grandfather was a pilot, and they were going to make a Rogue Squadron movie. I was so hyped for that because I'm like, this is going to be dope. We're going to have a dogfighting movie, right? Just X-wings, TIE fighters. Let's get it, right? And it's the name of the video games from LucasArts that all the fans played all the time. And then now that's nowhere to be seen, and now we are getting Starfighter. So I'm so excited for Starfighter, but from some of the stuff I've seen, there will still be an element of lightsaber-y stuff in there, which, don't get me wrong, I love lightsaber action. But I also would like to see just like a dogfighting Star Wars movie. X-Wings and TIE fighters and TIE bombers and TIE interceptors, Tri-fighters and A-Wings, B-Wings, Y-Wings, all that good stuff. So...
I don't remember that. I don't remember ever seeing that. She's a good director. It's too bad, but there's been lots of projects announced and then canceled, so it's not surprising. That's just the way it is now. So I thought, let's get into our ranking. So you have Solo last.
Yes.
Now I have that one higher.
Okay.
Instead of at 11, I have it at 10. So it's not that much different. But I don't know how different, like out of 5, how different we would rank them. What do you think you would give it? Like, now I'm notoriously generous.
Yeah.
So way more than other people. But I'm curious. So what do you think you would give it out of 5 stars?
It's funny. The fan in me wants to give it a 1.
A 1? But, oh wow.
Yeah, I say that because the reason why it's so low on my list is because this movie, in my opinion, should have never been made in the first place. There was no need for this movie. Fans, as far as I know, never asked for this. We never asked to see why Han Solo got his name, his blaster, or how him and Chewie met. No one asked for that. If you want to have those things, that's cool. But I really think those little more minute things are better shown in like a video game or a comic or something, right? A side story, not a full-fledged movie. I personally don't really care that much about those little details. It's cool to know those little backstories again as like side stories, but not like a full-fledged movie. The movie as itself wasn't really interesting. But the only part I kind of really liked was just seeing Darth Maul towards the end. Sorry, spoiler alert. Other than that, like the music in it wasn't very memorable either.
No,
there's nothing a lot about it I just didn't really care for. I saw it once, and I think that's the only Star Wars movie I've seen one time, and that was it. I don't care for that movie, and I love Star Wars. That movie I don't care for, so that's why that movie gets a 1. I don't think it ever should have been made.
Well, I've seen it twice now. The first time I watched it, I felt like you, not quite that bad, but I'm like, I don't like this. I'm like, it's like, okay. It's like, it's not like, I didn't think it was garbage, but I'm like, it's just, okay. And I'm like, the guy playing Han Solo, he's like, okay. He's not the best. He tried his best. It's not really his fault. You can't really be for it. But the second time, so I rewatched them all in chronological order because I never done that before. I never done that before. I'm like, let me try doing this. And I liked it better the second time around. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Okay. Because I just was entertained. I don't think it's like the greatest Star Wars movie ever. But Han Solo was my favorite Star Wars character. So it was fun to see some of these things about him. I thought I loved Donald Glover. I think his casting was the best casting in the movie because I'm like, oh, he really seems like Lando. I'm like, that's really good casting. He's like got this like suave, but kind of, swarmy, nature about him. So I thought he did a good job. The girl, she was fine. I really like Emilia Clarke in general, but the characters like just sort of whatever. They had nice chemistry, but I'm like, you never hear about this character anymore. So it's almost a little pointless. And then like the Paul Bettany character was like, he was menacing, but it's a lot of like, okay, what was the point sort of thing.
Right. And that's how I feel about this whole movie. And with the Lando thing, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I might be ignorant on this, but what is with the romantic feelings for the robot? The droid?
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
It's a little weird. It's because it's like you sometimes forget that they're not human. I found the droid really funny.
No, it was good, but I'm like, what's going on?
Why is he like in love with her? That's a little strange. I found it less strange the second time around. I don't know why. Maybe just because I was more warm toward the movie in general. But it's a fine movie. I'd watch it again. Just like it's slightly entertaining, but it's not the greatest. So yeah, for 3.5 out of 5 stars, just for the pure entertainment value. Yeah. I have the Phantom Menace last, and that's one I sort of went down with it and rewatch. I don't know why. What's funny is. So I have the DVDs, but then on Disney Plus, I'm watching it and I'm like, I don't remember this. And I read after the fact that during the pod race, they're announcing all the racers. And I'm like, this was eating up a big chunk of time. I'm like, what is going on here? Why are we taking 10 minutes to announce these pod racers? Get on with it. And I just thought, I'm like, this is stupid and lame. And I don't care about these dumb alien characters. And it's just, that's not the version I remembered having that edit in. So I'm like, I should have just watched my DVD. If I was just judging like the last act of the movie, I think I would rate it a little higher. But like all together. It just a few things just were a little too corny. Some of the kids saying lines, I'm like, oh, whose kid is this? That line reading was terrible. But so I gave it three out of 5. So my lowest rating of any Star Wars movie is 3.
Okay,
which is still good. I still like the movie. I still even love parts of it. I think the lightsaber battle with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul is probably my favorite lightsaber battle. Honestly,
it's peak. It is peak lightsaber battle.
So and that song, "The Duel of the Fates," some of the best Star Wars music ever. I mean, it's incredible. I love the stuff on Naboo because I think that's like such a pretty planet.
Absolutely.
Which I will say again when we get to Attack of the Clones. And I love young Obi-Wan. I love Qui-Gon. I like Padme. I like Padme better in the other movies. But I love all our costumes and that's so cool. So I think the movie ends really, really strongly. It just sort of is a little sluggish at the beginning, which is why it went down a little bit. But
okay.
I even think the little kid, who this poor thing was so raked over the coals and this, said he was just horrible. You suck. And I'm like, this is a little child. And he's not the greatest actor in the world, but he was fine. He was good. He was cute. He did what he was asked. And
he's a kid. I mean,
he's a little kid. And I think those scenes with his mother when he's saying goodbye were really sweet.
Yes. No, I agree.
So you have this, you had it at 7. So.
Yeah, I had a 7 on that one.
So you like it quite a bit more than me.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I have it at 7 because, of course, there's others on my list that rank below that. But even though I know people have the problems with Jar Jar, right? To me, Jar Jar is just whatever. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. The pod racing stuff, as you were talking about, it had the extra intros of the racing characters. I noticed that on Disney Plus movies, or like not Disney Plus movies, but the movies on Disney Plus, they tend to add in like the extra deleted scenes into the main movie itself. I personally I like that because I get more movie out of it. The pod racing scene, again, I know a lot of people actually hated. I actually thought it was really cool. Yeah, me too. I thought it was cool. You get to see stuff explode, Tusken Raiders shooting at them, right? Cool, revenge racing stuff. It was really cool. I liked it. It took up a part of the movie, yes, but I thought it was still entertaining. Some of the parts I didn't like about the movie were just some of the more in this movie in particular, some of the more political stuff with the separatists and things like that. I didn't really care for that stuff.
It was a little boring.
It is, yes, exactly. So the part of the beginning of the movie with the intro, that was fun. Pod racing, fun. I would say that yes, towards the end is like the best part of the movie, of course, because you have 3 battles going on. You have the battle with the Trade Federation. I'm not sure and all the Star Wars nerds are going to yell at me about this, but the Trade Federation ship with the giant sphere in the center when the Naboo fighters are fighting that in space. Then you have the Gungans versus the droids in the open field. Then you have Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. And that was peak. You had all 3 of those battles going on at the same time. It was amazing. Also, plus you also had the shootout with Padme, in like the Naboo city streets.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, like all this stuff going on. It was really, really cool. So there was a lot of cool things going throughout the movie. And yeah, I don't believe it's as bad as people make it out to be. For me, I enjoy it a lot for what it is. Again, the music Duel of the Fates is really good. The CGI, is it good? No, not really. But I still think there's enough entertainment in this movie for me to justify it. Anakin, the child actor, he's a kid, man. I mean, like, what are you supposed to do? As an adult, are you really going to be some petty, angry adult and bag on a kid? Like, come on, be respectful, be an adult, be mature. And again, it doesn't bother me. I'm like, okay, he's a kid, whatever. The scene with him and his mom when he leaves, to me, that is like a very emotional thing because he's he's only had his mom, you know, like what she said. He's never had a father, so it's just been them two. Now he has to separate from her. So yeah, I thought that was great. Qui-Gon and that actor too. It's just
Liam Neeson. Yeah.
Yes, Liam Neeson. Sorry, I'm very bad with names of actors and actresses.
Oh, okay.
But I do think him and Ian McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. Yeah.
Yes. They're both fantastic actors. They both played their roles at Jedi fabulously, and I wish we had more of Qui-Gon. But and then also I would say too, Darth Maul is still like he's like my favorite Sith besides Vader. Darth Maul is so good, and I'm not sure if you've seen the other kind of animated shows, but no. Darth Maul, you know, he survived basically. So
yeah, well, I figured when I saw the Solo thing.
yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
I'm like, what's going on here? But
yeah,
it was cut in half. But yeah, Darth Maul is cool, that makeup and everything, and the way. I don't know martial art terms, but whatever he's doing is really cool.
Yeah, well, and the first time we see the double-bladed lightsaber, come on, you can't get more peak than that with the Duel of the Fates music. That was super cool. He looks cool. You got the horns, the face paint, you know, and like all the martial art acrobatics he's doing. It's just awesome. And I actually. That movie I can actually watch multiple times. So it's not the best Star Wars movie, but it's somewhere like in the middle range for me. Mm-hmm. So
what do you think you would rate it? Yeah,
I would probably give like a 3.5.
Okay, so not that, even though it's way different ranking wise, it's not that different from me as far as what I gave it as the rating.
Yeah,
I gave it 3. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because for me, like the 3 is like in that kind of middle tier, like average, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
it's for me. It's like good average. It's like, it's not like average.
No. It's not bad average. It's not like average. It's meh. To me, this is like there's a lot of good stuff in this, but it's not like anything super amazing. So I always put it more in good average because I still like it. So.
Mm-hmm. And I will never forget being so excited to see a brand new Star Wars movie in the movie theater. That was that was so cool. I don't remember how old I was. I don't know. I was in high school.
Yeah, I think I was in middle school, because I remember my mom's friend of hers was telling me that that there was talk of George Lucas going to make movies that were set before the original trilogy about how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then and that was my first Star Wars movies in theaters. And yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, that was cool.
And I was like really into like getting kind of like little trading cards and little mini posters. And I think it was a soundtrack or something that came with this picture of Obi-Wan. And I thought he was really cute. So I Ewan McGregor's very good looking. So I remember I had it, like, I used to decorate like my folder with like pictures of stuff I liked. And one of my teachers saw it, and he's like walking by my desk. He's like, Obi-Wan. And then at the end of the year, he had a Star Wars calendar, and he gave me the Obi-Wan month.
Nice.
He knew because I knew I liked him, and that teacher has since passed away, which is sad. But he was really sweet, and yeah, it was exciting. Though I do remember being spoiled that Qui-Gon died by someone who saw it before me, and I'm like, thanks a lot.
Oh, that sucks.
No, but I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, you know what? So with the Phantom Menace, it's funny because even though I grew up watching the original trilogy on VHS, so that was my introduction to Star Wars. I still, in a sense, semi like the prequels because I still kind of grew up with those as well. Because those came out when I was still a kid, basically. So I started with OT, and then watch the prequels. Now, there's one prequel on here that's like I don't really care for it, but we'll get to that one. But yeah, I still have like I guess like a good fond for these movies in a sense because I still kind of grew up with them when watching them as the technology was evolving. So, but yeah, the kind of weird.
Yeah, it's
thing.
like I was older than you, but I was still young, and so I have like kind of like the nostalgic feelings for both trilogies.
Yeah,
a lot of people are like they just are nostalgic for the original one because they're like older, a lot older than us.
right.
Or they're just nostalgic for the prequels because they were like younger than us and they like were really little kids.
Yeah,
And because they're sort of like, for so many years they got a lot of hate, and now it's come back around and people are like going, oh no, they're actually really good. And I'm like, it feels a bit like revisionist history because it's like always were attracting them, and they're like, no, it's just because we were kids and we didn't have a say. I'm like, well, maybe to a good degree that's probably true, but not entirely. I think sometimes opinions just change as you get older.
That's true.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, like I said, I had one ranking and I rewatched them and my ranking changed. So
there you go.
I was more favorable on most of them and a couple less. So a couple like dropped down. So Phantom Menace dropped down and another one dropped down quite a lot. So you have you're at 10. Your number 10 is The Last Jedi.
Yes.
And I have that at 9, so it's not that different. That was the one that it dropped down a little for me in ranking. I should have looked at where did I have it initially? See if I can see that. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on that while I'm looking.
Okay. Yeah. So the reason why I have this worse than
second to last.
Yeah. Second to last, and not Rise of Skywalker, because I know that was a huge debacle as well. It's simply for the fact that when you're making a trilogy and you botcher, the trilogy in the middle of it, you just butcher it up. You just ruined the whole thing, and that was very disappointing. I'm like, well, now the next movie is gonna suffer because of this. So it's pretty much like I'm not judging the movie based on the movie itself as an individual movie. I'm judging this kind of for me based on what it did to the whole trilogy.
Sure. Yeah.
So I mean, whether that's fair of me or not to do, I mean, I guess it's not fair. But how I feel is that this is a part of a bigger picture, not just the singular movie, and it just messed up the whole thing. I mean, I don't know what they were doing when they were making the sequel trilogy, and they had no plan going into this. No blueprint, no layout, no foresight into what's the story going to be, how's it going to flow. It was just like, okay, you direct this, you do your own thing, and then it just gets messed up. I had high hopes for Snoke, even though I really don't like that name Snoke. The character itself, I thought was pretty cool, and then that happens to him just like that. I'm like, are we serious now? And what's the point of the trilogy? Captain Phasma was touted as this like super cool, mean, chrome dome machine chick, and she does nothing in this whole trilogy basically. And this movie is still one where she kind of falls out again, and I'm like, oh, what is going on here? What are we doing? And then Luke, I was expecting this battle. I wanted this cool battle between Luke and Kylo Ren, and did we get that? No, we did not get that. And that was also, again, disappointing. The whole movie was just basically a chase sequence. Again, not that interesting. We go to a planet of a space casino, basically. Not very interesting. And everything in this movie was just not interesting. And it just, what they did to the characters, I just did not like. The whole direction was just the wrong direction to go in. So that's why it ranks there, because Solo was never needed to be made in the first place. Don't need it. Don't care for it. Last Jedi screwed up the entire sequel trilogy for me. And that is like, like I have it there because it obviously the movie, in my opinion, should have been made because it's part of a trilogy, but you screwed it up so bad the trilogy is pointless. So you just ruined the whole thing. So yeah. And I'll get to why in my next number 9. Why that is. So but
yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, so for my ranking for this, I'm gonna give this one like a 1.5.
Oof.
Yeah.
You are in the majority. Most people feel this way. I am much more favorable on these movies than most people. But so I do like it. But I initially had it at I just saw it 2 seconds ago and I already forgot. In my previous ranking, I had it at 6, and now I have it at 9. So it dropped.
It's a big drop.
It is a big drop. So I agree with some of what you said. It's all over the place. The story is like there's a zillion things going on, and all the characters are disjointed. And it's like, yes, that's like, I guess they were trying to sort of mirror Empire Strikes Back, where all the characters are in different places, but all those stories are good.
Yeah.
The difference here, so there's things I like and there's things I don't like. I didn't like, so I can end positive. I'll start with the stuff I didn't like.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't like the storyline with Finn and Rose going to the casino planet or whatever the heck that was. And I'm like, what is going on here? They were spending so much time, and I feel like it was a, how would you describe it? A lot of time spent there and nothing changed. Like it didn't like really advance the plot, really.
No, it didn't.
Because at the very end, then it was something else happened. So I'm like, well, what was the point of this? I'm watching this because I remember liking it a little bit more than I did on rewatch. And I'm like, what was the point of all this? This weird chasing and this, they bring in like this commentary about the class system. And I'm like, yeah, I know this exists, but I'm like, what is that really necessary in this story? I don't think so. That is something the director puts in his movies, though. So I'm not surprised he put it in there. Rian Johnson, that is in Knives Out, very, very much so. And I love his Knives Out movies. I think those are fantastic. So he's a great director in a movie like that. I don't think the direction is bad. It's just that the story didn't make sense enough after The Force Awakens, and the characters were too split up. Poe was okay. I love that character, but I'm like, he wasn't doing very much in the story, except kind of being like defiant. Not much to it. And I loved Finn in The Force Awakens. I really loved that character. So I was upset that all of a sudden he was off on this weird adventure. So I'm like,
yeah, so all the character stuff, I like them, but I'll get to that in the Force Awakens thing.
The characters themselves are great, but what they're doing isn't always great.
Yes.
So it's and I do feel so bad for that poor girl playing Rose. They crucifies this poor girl. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with her character. Her character she's sweet and brave and all that. There's nothing wrong with the character. But her story was kind of like, why is this in here?
I feel like there's a lot of that with this is what we're seeing and doing. Why are we doing this? It didn't make sense.
The
also,
character didn't have that much of a point,
right.
Which is sad for her because it's like her inherent qualities. There's nothing wrong with her character's qualities.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't incorporated that well, which is why the poor thing was like practically gone in the last one. I think because of fan feedback. I do feel bad for her. It really sucks. And people are ridiculous and over the top. It's like, get a grip. You know, it's a movie. You don't have to be so nasty to an actor. She didn't write it.
No, I know there was sorry, Girly Nerd. There was the show. I think it was the Obi-Wan series on Disney
People
Plus.
were mean about her too.
And this is what drives me crazy about the fandom. Is everybody is an adult. Like, you, in my opinion, don't be calling people nasty names. Like, these are actors, you know, they're paid to do this job. And okay, if they can't act, they can't act. Or if they didn't do a good job, that's on them. But you don't need to be calling them racial names or slurs or bad mouthing them. You don't need to do that. You know, anyway, sorry, that's just
no, I agree. It's just nasty, and it just shows a really icky side of the fandom that I really don't like. And let me see. Well, was there anything else I didn't like? Yeah, the stuff with Captain Phasma. I mean, I wasn't really thinking about her being like this badass, and now she's not. But that is a good point. And I really actively disliked the Benicio del Toro character. I'm like, what is this stupid character? He felt pointless.
Yeah.
He pretends to be helping them, and in the last second he betrays them. I'm like, okay, fine.
Right. I will say the one thing I did like in the movie, the one thing is the fight with Kylo and Rey fighting those red guards. That was cool. That was really cool. I will say another thing I didn't like was, this is me personally, is, you know how in the OT and even the prequel movies, how every movie there was year gaps between them. So in this trilogy, I don't remember if they did it for Rise of Skywalker, but from episode 7 to 8, it was like immediately right after that one. I didn't like it because then that also gives you the sense of feeling there was not really a lot of progress happening. Because a big complaint of the movies was, Rey is a Mary Sue. How she get all these powers and blah, 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 right? I think if you were to have a longer gap in the timeline between the two trilogies, that would be more believable as well. Because we see that in the OT trilogy. Every trilogy, you know, Luke has become a bit more powerful as you know, as a Jedi each movie. Now, of course, we see some training in that, but because we have that gap, we know, okay, this is like some timeline years later. The characters have grown, they've been promoted, you know, they're bigger, they're badder, right? So I didn't like that they did this very short, immediate intro to the next movie in this trilogy.
Right. I get what you mean. I didn't think about it. It didn't bother me. They were kind of forced into it. The way the movie ended. The previous one. But so there are things I do like about the movie. So this one, like Solo, I gave it like 3.5 out of 5. So I do like the Rey character. I don't like calling her Mary Sue. I don't think that's fair. Because she was an orphan, she had to grow up to learn to defend herself. So that's why she's really scrappy and so obviously being really force sensitive or whatever, I'm like, she is. That's just because that's just the way they wrote it. Doesn't bother me. If you don't like it, fine. But I loved her character in The Force Awakens, so I like her here. Her story is her and Luke were like one of the few things I really enjoyed in the movie. I liked their dynamic. I liked her learning to do stuff, him training, being like impatient with her, and because she's just so like, no, I have to do it now. He's like, that's not going to work. You know, if you want to be a true Jedi, you have to learn patience. And I loved seeing Yoda. I love Yoda, and he was a puppet again, which I liked because I hate the CGI Yoda. I like tangible Yoda. I mean, I understand why he was CGI in the prequels because he's jumping all around. You can't do that with a puppet, but I liked seeing a realistic tangible Yoda and his scenes. And I liked Luke's story. I understand what you mean. You wanted like this big like badass battle. I understand that from like a fanboy. Oh, I want to see a fun battle perspective, but I think of it differently because so a lot of people really hated one of the reasons they really hate this movie. They hate the way his character was. They're like, why is he cynical? Why is he grumpy? He's Luke Skywalker. He's a hero. But I just look at it the polar opposite of that, because I think it's kind of a unfair and even ridiculous notion to think in that many years that once someone gets to a certain point in their like heroism or, nobility, that they just stay that way, that they never ever change. They never have any dark moments. They never, go down a path of cynicism or anything like that. I think that's unfair to put on any human. You're just supposed to be, perfect for the rest of your life. So I understand why people hold him up to this like beacon of like light and virtue because of how we ended Return of the Jedi. But I mean, how many years in between were those movies? A lot of years.
Yeah, I think it's like 27 years. And
when they show Kylo Ren's perspective, which is false, and then they show Luke's perspective, which is the actually what happened. And he's talking, he shows him holding up the lightsaber. He's like, I sense this darkness in him. He goes, it passed. Like it was gone within like 5 seconds. So it's like this brief little moment of doubt. And Kylo Ren goes berserk, basically. He completely overreacts and becomes like a whiny baby, which I think his character is.
It is. I agree with that too. Yeah.
He's very over dramatic and whiny, and I don't really like him that much. But because Luke is so good, I like the arc that he goes through in the course of the movie, where at the end, it's like, it's not about fighting him because he's too far gone at this moment. It's like, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to hurt you. I love you. He loves his nephew. He has to kind of put him in his place, basically, lose in a different sort of way. So I liked that whole scene. I thought it was really kind of interesting. And I like this little brush off of the shoulder and like this sort of not arrogant, but like a slightly cocky sort of attitude. And so I enjoyed all that. I do think, though, it took a lot to get there, going in too many different directions. And then all of a sudden there's all these guys going on to fight all those things right before Luke gets there. It's like, how many different things are going on in this movie?
Yeah, I think that if they would have focused more directly on what's going on with the story of Luke and everything, and just kind of explained things better, showed more, and even showed more in the first movie as well, because he was absent like the entire thing. I think there would have been more acceptance by most of the fandom about Luke and his outcome that happened. But I think because it was such a quick thing, like story movement, until I think for a lot of fans, it was just like a big WTF, like what's going on.
And I am sad that he died. Because Han Solo died in The Force Awakens, and now Luke's dead, and then Leia dies in the next one, but that was probably not the plan. They were forced into that. So I do wonder, I'm like, if Carrie Fisher hadn't had passed away, if they had known that was going to happen, would Luke have died? Probably not. Because it's like each movie, one of the original characters dies. But if that hadn't happened, I have a feeling he would have still been kept alive. Because do you see, you get what I mean? Because it's almost it's just too sad. It's like boom, boom, boom. You lose one in each movie. And And that's the one thing I don't like about The Force Awakens is Han Solo dying.
Well,
he's my favorite character, and
here's my problem with the sequels. Not at one point that I can recall where we see all the original characters together in one scene.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's like, what are you doing? Like you
had Luke and Leia together a little bit. You had Luke and Han and Leia together a little bit, but not enough. So that is my big thing that I don't like about the movies, even if I do enjoy them a lot, more so than most people, because I love those characters and I love the original trilogy. There wasn't enough of them. I guess the mentality was it's like they're not the leads anymore. We have these new leads, so we're not going to do that. But
see, this goes.
I don't know.
This will go into the Force Awakens stuff, but I think this is my opinion, so other fans could have theirs, but I think this trilogy should have been still. I believe the OG characters should have still been the focus, the main characters. With still, you can still have Rey, Poe, and Poe and Finn, but have them be the new upcoming characters, right? So still have your OG characters; they're the main characters of the movie. But as we're going through the trilogy, the new characters are being brought up to kind of take their place, so to speak, in a sense. Because if you look at the Force Awakens, those trailers really made me think Finn was going to be a Jedi at some point. Like that totally threw me for the loop. And I was like, okay, well, what happened with that? And I love Poe. I love Poe as like the badass, X-Wing pilot. That's awesome. I love dogfights, right? And then Rey, I don't know what she was going to be, but I guess she's now the Jedi, right? So, but I do think that we should have had the OG characters first, because look, if they were going to go back and try to give us all these like member berries and hey, look at all this cool stuff that was in the OT, now it's back over here. Here's the characters. Just kind of stick with that, give us that, and then slowly, phase out of the new trilogy into another one with the new characters as now the main characters, because we've seen them now as like partners or part of the action 7, 8, 9, but now they are the new main characters going forward. 10, 11, 12. And I think with these 3 movies, there wasn't a really good handing off the baton to these new characters, because I feel like the new characters just came in. Here's their story. Here they are, and the old characters, they're old news. Throw them out. That's how I kind of see it as, unfortunately. So I do think the whole trilogy itself was just really mishandled, so to speak.
Well, it's not good that you have one director, then another director, and then the original director, and it without like they clearly didn't work together to plan out one big story.
No, not at all. And
that's a shame. That's a shame. I do think they do feel like one story, but there are lots of loose threads that aren't good. So
and those loose threads is what's supposed to tie the trilogy together.
Yeah.
And then you kill Snoke in the middle of your trilogy. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like that's like defeating the Emperor and in the middle of an empire or something. It's like, come on. I don't know.
I do have a theory though about why they couldn't be the way you would have preferred. I mean, I think I would have liked that too. I just don't think it was physically possible with those actors because of their age. Well, one, I know Harrison Ford was like, I'll come back, but I'll only come back if you kill me. That was his condition.
It was, yeah.
Because he wanted his character to die in the original trilogy. He thought he should have died in Empire Strikes Back. And so that was his caveat. I'll come back if you kill my character, basically. So, and then Carrie Fisher clearly she's not in the best of health. Even Harrison Ford, I think he broke a foot or something. So, he's not the best at the physicality stuff, even though he's in pretty good shape. He's still, he broke his foot and then he was sort of, and then Mark Hamill, he's in okay shape, but he's not, peak Luke Skywalker anymore. So I think maybe if they had done it 10, 15 years earlier, that probably
Yeah.
could have been the case. I just don't think it was probably feasible anymore, which is too bad. But I do agree that there should have been more scenes of all three of them together in one space.
Absolutely.
And Lando too. I think it's a shame he was only in the third one.
Oh yeah, what's up with that?
Lando. Yeah. Again, I don't know, maybe it's his age or that's just what they decided to write. I don't know. But we got to go on because we're talking a lot. So let's see. We'll go to I had Last Jedi at 9, and then I have Attack of the Clones at 8, and you have Attack of the Clones at 8. So we have it in the same spot.
Oh, okay, perfect.
That was one I improved. My opinion improved.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Let me see where I had it initially. I think I had it next to last. I think I had it next to last initially in it, so it moved up a few spots. That's one. It's like, this is clunky and not very good, and
yeah,
the acting's not great, and very slow movie.
It is. I agree with you. It's slow at times. It's boring. The love scenes are very cheesy and cringeworthy. Some of this, like, the CGI in this era was,
it's okay. It's fine. It's good. It's good as it's gonna be, basically.
Exactly. And yeah, it was just a really slow movie. And I mean, you had like little battle pieces here and there, like, you had on Camino, was it Django and Obi-Wan, right? But then you had the whole slow scene with like Obi-Wan, with the Caminoian. How do you call them? Caminoians or something. But he's being shown all the clone troopers and everything like that.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah, and then what else? And then the whole part where Count Dooku is in that little, like, that room in Geonosis where they're talking about the Death Star plans.
Yeah.
I get it, there's stuff happening, but it just felt really slow. And it's just that the whole chasing in the beginning of the movie too, with that changeling creature humanoid thing and the speed racer in a Coruscant. It was okay. I mean, a lot of this movie was just very.
I like that.
A lot of stuff in this movie was very like mid to like okay to bad. It's not very enjoyable. It's my least favorite of the three prequel movies, but I still enjoy it more than Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, and Solo. So,
I hadn't seen it in like, God, so long. So, my opinion improved. Initially, I gave it like 2.5 out of 5 stars, and now I gave it 3.5. So I moved up a whole star rating. I do think, it is slow. Some of the dialogue, George Lucas is not the best writer, so
no, that's a big
some of the dialogue is a little clunky, and the chemistry is not the best. But I did think it was a little bit better than I remembered, and I did think Hayden Christensen, who plays Anakin, I'm like, oh, he wasn't as bad as I remembered. He's fine, and I think he's the best in the third movie. But he was a lot better than I remembered him being, or my opinion just softened. I don't know. I do think the scenes with him and Padme they could definitely be better, but they're not terrible. Like, I do buy that there's affection there and stuff. It is a little like, it feels a little not out of the blue, but a little like fast, where all of a sudden where they're about to die and she's saying how deeply she's in love with them. I'm like, you are? Okay. Now, I would say, just say, I love you. You don't have to say I'm deeply, passionately in love with you. I don't quite buy that.
Yeah.
But I do think it was, like I said, it was better than I remembered. And I like a lot of stuff with Obi-Wan. Some of it's a little slow though. But I love the last battle. I think that's fantastic and exciting with all the Jedi and when they're in that arena. That's really cool. And Yoda fighting Count Dooku is fun. He's bouncing all over the place. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think it's fun.
It is fun. I agree with you. Yeah.
I remember I remember being in the theater and the crowd went nuts. Just started hooting and hollering and cheering when that happened. And then I think the music's great. I love the love theme. It's called Across the Stars. I think that music is some of the most beautiful music ever written. I love that music. And then I'm a girly person, so I loved every single thing that Padme wore. I mean, she was just serving look after look after look after look. I mean, everything that she was wearing was just gorgeous. Particularly the one in that I don't like sand thing. She's wearing the flowy ombre dress with it's all backless and everything. I'm like, that's beautiful. And then this the yellow dress, which is sort of what I'm going for with what I'm wearing today, when they're out in that meadow, and it's just so beautiful. I mean, I would wear costumes like that for Halloween. Just gorgeous costume design in the film, and then I love all the scenes on Naboo where they filmed in Lake Como, Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the real life, not in person, but I watched a video about the filming locations, and it looks just like how it does in the movie. It's just so gorgeous and beautiful. So I love the Naboo planet for how pretty it is, and so aesthetically, I love lots of the movie too, just from a visual standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. I would say Naboo is probably one of my favorite planets from Star Wars, just because how aesthetically beautiful it is.
I think it's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The water, the architectural style, the greenery. Oh, it's awesome. Another thing I like too, I guess, is the kind of theme with Kylo Ren as well. Is just how whiny
he's so whiny.
Anakin is. He's like a little child, and I get it. They're supposed to show, right, that he's jealous, he's getting angry, right? How you lead to the dark side, right? But the way they did it was just not good. Him screaming, he's holding me back, having a tantrum, throwing the metal piece, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? Come on.
How old is he supposed to be?
I don't, but I would say probably in his early 20s.
See, if he's a teenager, I can forgive it a little bit. But if he's supposed to be that old, I don't know. He's acting like a teenager, immature and a little bit like a baby. He doesn't bother me though as much as Kylo Ren does, as far as attitude.
So it says here, AI Google says in episode 2 he's 19 years old. Episode 3 he's 22.
Okay, so I can cut him a little slack because he's not his what is that called? His brain isn't fully formed.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. And men do mature, later than women. So that's part of it. But yeah, so I do enjoy it more than I used to. And but yeah. But so that's my number 8. That's your number 8. Your number 7 is Phantom Menace. My number 7 is Rogue One.
Oh,
you have it at 4.
I do.
Yeah. So most people like this movie more than me, and initially I had it lower though. So the second time. This is the second time I watched it. I liked it better the second time around.
Okay.
A lot of people love Rogue One.
It's great.
You clearly like it a lot more than I do. The thing with Rogue One is I really like the story. I think the story is great, and the last act, like the last 45 minutes or so, is spectacular. Oh, yeah. I mean, the dramatic tension, all the fighting going on, and the ticking clock sort of thing, because it's really there's no peace. It's like boom, 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 all this stuff happening, and it has to happen now. I think I have it lower than most people because I don't connect that much with the characters. I think the characters are just a little bland. I don't want to call them boring. They're not boring. But they're just a little, they're a little one note.
Okay.
Jin, what is her name? Jin?
Jin Erso, I believe.
Yeah. She's got more to do, so she was better than what is his name? Cassian Andor. She was a little bit better than him character-wise for me. I know people love the Andor show. I haven't watched it yet. So maybe maybe his character would improve in my eyes with the show, because there's more, his character's probably given more to do. But like all the other supporting characters, like they were kind of cool. The one guy, what is he, blind?
Oh, yes, Donnie Yen.
Yeah. He's cool, but see, I couldn't even remember his name. If I can't remember the character's name, I think that's bad. You know, you get what I mean? It's like, yeah, he was cool, and I liked that thing. He would go, "I'm one with the Force is one with me," and they weren't hurting him, and he got to that thing he had to get at the end.
His name is Donnie Yen, but that's his actual name. His character name, I don't remember what it was.
Oh, okay. Did they even say it? They should say all the characters' names, but and then there was the other person that was with him. Like it's like I'm trying to even picture him in the movie, and I'm like, my memory's already faded with how he was like. So that's why I have that movie lower than most people. But I gave it 4 stars. So it's not like I don't like the movie. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. So I just like some of these other ones better. That's all it is, basically, because of the characters. Basically, is what it is.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay, yeah. For me, Rogue One, I like it because it has, well, first of all, it's in the OT timeline, right? So X-Wings, TIE Fighters, Star Destroyers, Death Star, all that stuff, right? Good stuff. I do like Diego Luna as Cassian Andor. I know when a lot of people when they watch this movie, I know that they didn't like his character, but for some reason, I like his character.
I do like him. I just didn't really connect that much with him.
Yeah, see, it's weird for me. I'm an oddball when it comes to like movies and stuff, because I never find myself caring about connecting to characters. I find myself more caring about, are they cool? Are they doing cool stuff, right? Like, are they doing stuff that's not dumb? If so, I like them. If they look, if I don't like how they look, I won't even care about the character. For me personally, I don't feel they need to have a connection to the character. I know a lot of people do. For me, that's just I just don't have those feelings for that. But I did like him as that character. Jyn Erso was cool. The Empire was, of course, amazing as always.
Yes.
The dog fights in this movie, oh man, the best in the series so far. And that's what I want to see more of. What we got in Rogue One for dogfighting, I want like all of that in a Rogue Squadron movie, basically. I thought that the visuals were also really, really good. I like that this was a darker movie. It was felt more grounded, felt more tactile, physical. K21SO, Cassian's droid, was hilarious.
Oh,
I
so
loved
funny.
him. It was awesome. And what else? The ending. Yeah, I know a lot of people also say, "Oh, we don't need this movie because we know the end, we know the outcome." Yeah, granted, but what we got for what this was cool. Whereas Solo, what we got was not cool. So even though we didn't need Solo, what we got was still not cool anyway. At least with this was a badass movie. So, yeah, especially that ending too with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Oh, that was peak right there. Darth Vader, he looks scary. I mean, people feared Darth Vader. That was a scary. If you're one of those rebel troopers, you are fearing for your life in that section. That was really cool. The only questionable thing was the whole Princess Leia CG thing going on at the end. But it didn't bother me too much like it bothered some other people. I was like, okay, I get it. It makes sense because this really jumps right into A New Hope, right? So I get it why she's on that ship. But other than that, yeah, I thought the movie was action packed. It was great. It was dark. It was gritty. Great dog fighting scenes, and yeah, it was overall a good time. I have this on number 4 on my list, and I also give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay. I love the end, how it ties right. It just goes right into A New Hope. I did really like that. The CGI on her face was probably the best they could do at the moment.
Right.
They've come a long way in those few years. So, the dog fighting, the way that all that's filmed is really, really well done in the final battle. And I'm someone who character and story sort of go hand in hand when I like a movie. That's like number 1. So like in the original trilogy, if I didn't love those characters, I don't know if I would love them as the movies that much. But so character is important to me. The other thing is that, yeah, it was cool that it was like more grounded. I did like that, but with the exception of the droid, there was no humor in the movie, and I always enjoy that in the Star Wars movies. There's always a little bit of humor,
right?
And there wasn't really any except for the droid, so I missed that. I'm probably alone in that. People are like, oh, this is the best Star Wars has been because it's more mature and it's darker, and I'm like, for some people that means better. That doesn't necessarily mean better to me.
Yeah. I mean, my another problem I have with the sequels is that, and this is with all the Marvel stuff too, is they keep trying to input all these jokes and funny like punchlines. I'm like, I want the comedy to feel more natural, not like these, hey, here's a joke every 5 minutes.
So, I agree with that. They do sometimes, especially the Marvel movies, do try to be a little bit too quippy. It should be natural, but
no.
Other than that, I agree. It's a great film. So let's see what we're at. 6. My 6 is this. Your 6 is okay. Let's do your 6 first.
Okay.
It's the Force Awakens.
Yes, Force Awakens. So I think a lot of fans also did not like this movie when it came out. I actually like this movie. I actually give this movie, if we're doing like a scale of like 1 to 10, I would give it like a 7. I thought, yes, it is a lot of the same story beats as A New Hope, but I do think you had to do some of the similar story beats after all these years to kind of bring the original fans back into a new era of Star Wars. So I do think that was necessary. Again, the characters themselves, Finn, Poe Dameron, and Rey are fine, but I think the direction they took them in was not fine. And I think that what was cool about the movie, again, Poe Dameron, awesome pilot. I do think we got some, the lightsaber battles were pretty decent. Again, I do like in this one, there was a lot of practical effects. In this one, a lot of puppeteering, which is cool. Visuals look great. We had Han Solo and Chewie amazing. And yeah, I thought the last battle towards the end on Starkiller Base was also really fun. I do like the beginning too, when we first get the First Order troopers when they land down. It's like a military style invading on like a village. They're coming out, and I love when Poe shoots his blaster at Kylo, and then Kylo just he stops that black blaster bolt in midair. That was super dope. I was like, yo, that's sick. That was so cool. What else? And yeah, so I thought there was a lot of cool elements in it. I love the battle scenes after and what's that one planet? I don't remember, but it's that planet where Han and Finn and Rey were at that cantina.
I don't remember the name of the planet.
I don't remember the planet either, but that was a fun scene, and then you had that First Order trooper traitor with Finn. So there was a lot of cool scenes in this movie for sure. And the explosions look really cool too. Like on Jakku when those TIE fighters are chasing Rey and Finn, and the sand is like boom, boom, and flying in the air. Just really cool stuff. Seeing the kind of upgraded technology in that 27-year time span from Return of the Jedi to now Force Awakens. The TIE fighters can now go into hyperspace, so they have rear gunners and all that cool stuff. I thought it was a very solid entry for a new trilogy. And then from there, that's when it kind of went down. So that's why for me, The Force Awakens is the better movie out of Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, and Solo. I do think that was the better movie out of all of those, which is why for me it ranks number 6. And that movie I will give I will probably give that, oh man, it's tough. Probably also 3.5 as well. 3.5, but it's better than Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I put Force Awakens at 4. So I like it more than you. I give it 4.5 stars. I really love it. It's my favorite of the sequel trilogy. It's my favorite. It set up things really well. Obviously didn't follow through completely.
Yes.
But I mean, like I said, Han Solo is my favorite character, so I loved how much he was in it. Hated that he died, but that was really heartbreaking and sad. But I still love the movie. I love the new characters. I loved Rey. I love Finn. I love Poe. I love the dynamic between Rey and Finn so much. I loved the banter and where he clearly has a little crush on her.
Right.
And she's like, "Stop trying to hold my hand." And he's asking, do you have a boyfriend? And see, that's the thing is, I felt so much like they were trying to set them up to be a couple. And I don't understand why that didn't happen. I have a theory, which I'll get to in a minute, but I love Poe. I love BB-8. I think he's so cute, such a fun character.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Leia in the movie. Chewie. It was after so many years and being kind of lukewarm on the prequels, it was kind of like a breath of fresh air for me. I loved all the things you mentioned when they're on Jakku and they're running for the Millennium Falcon. She's like, "That's garbage." Oh, the garbage will do. All that. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy in the movie and with the characters, and so I really like that. The lightsaber battle when it's at night and they're in the snow. That's cool. The way the lightsabers are lit and they look so neat. Like I said, I do, or like you said, I do wish Luke was in it more than he is. But other than that, I really don't have complaints about the movie. I really loved it. I have to think. I do think Kylo Ren though is irritating.
Still a big baby, yeah.
Adam Driver's a really great actor. I will save my other thoughts when I talk about the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay.
I have very different feelings on that movie than most people. So, but we will go to, let's see, my number 6, which is your number 5, which is Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, yes. Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Best of the prequels, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
By a lot, I think, even though I only gave it half a star more than Attack of the Clones. Is at the same time, I think it's a lot better. You wouldn't know about my rating, but I do think it's a lot better than the previous ones.
That's why ratings are hard, because you can have you can have like certain movies that are like way better than like a movie, and the rating can be like so close together. You're like, no, I actually like it way more, but yeah, it just kind of makes it difficult.
So, what are your thoughts on Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, so Revenge of the Sith is great. I thought that again, I like the darker. Yeah, not everything has to be dark, right? But I do like, we go from this, lovey-dovey, airy-fairy thing from episode 2, right? Very long, boring, it's a snooze fest. Then we go to Revenge of the Sith, where we have intro, camera, boom, down into a huge action-packed battle scene in space above Coruscant. You got lasers flying everywhere, a bunch of battleships, separatist ships. You have Obi-Wan and Anakin just flying in their little Jedi star speeders, and just blowing stuff up. They get in there, they're killing droids, they fight Grievous, all that good jazz, right? And there's a lot of good action scenes in this movie. Again, I know a lot of people probably want to hear me talk about the story. I like a lot of the action stuff, but story does count, of course. I do think where the story falls really good is that this shows the envelope of now when Anakin is really starting to turn, right? When you can see his mind turning, like, wait a minute, when he's kind of being tricked into thinking that no, the Palpatine is in the right about the Jedi, and that the Jedi are evil and they're wrong, right? And I like that we get to see that transition over time in the movie. Yeah. That was great. I do laugh every time though when I see that scene when Master Windu doesn't grant him the rank of Master, and then Anakin has that fit. What? How can you do this? It's always hilarious. But seeing Yoda fight Darth Sidious was also really cool. Again, Yoda's so cool because he's powerful. He is the Grand Master Jedi. I love Yoda. He's also just an adorable little old whatever he is. Yoda species. And it was too. Again, you have that emotional too, right? Where you get that part on Order 66, and all the Jedi are feeling it. Yoda feels it when the Jedi are being destroyed. You see every scene where like the main Jedi are being killed off, and that's sad because again you have that musical piece to it. And again, right. the emotions that the music carries, it's telling the story, what's happening. Yeah, you're seeing it visually, but it's also, if you just close your eyes, you can tell this something sad and bad is happening. And I do love that we get like a lot of battle scenes like on Kashyyyk. We see a lot of different like battle areas going around the galaxy, which is really cool. We get to see the invasion of Anakin now in the dark side. Unfortunately, using his Youngling Slayer 3000 to obliterate the Jedi Temple, in which actually was pretty dark in itself.
Yeah.
And and then of course we have the awesome scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan having their duel. I do love that Obi-Wan towards the end of the fight there, he does have the emotional impact of he's like Anakin, you were like my brother, I loved you, because they spent so much time together. Now, of course, Jedi, they don't have like, they have these detachments. So, they're not supposed to have these attachments to people and things, but they were together all the time, master, apprentice, partners. And, so there is realistically going to be some form of attachment to there. And I think for Obi-Wan to feel that betrayal from someone like Anakin, and for that, not only that person to betray him, but to feel like that person was in the right. You have two people who feel they are in the right and the other is wrong. One person was severely corrupted, and I think that's a strong influence that Darth Sidious had about saving Padme from death, and that was the whole thing, right? Is Anakin is fearing of losing Padme, and in doing so, he killed Padme in the process because he was so scared of losing her. He was trying to protect her, and that just corrected him. He became angry, and then he turned it on to Obi-Wan and the Jedi. Thought that they were all wrong and they all had to be eliminated. And and the whole thing too is that there's a very political thing going on in all three movies, right? 1, 2, and 3. And I love the way that it really references real life politics. I'm not very much into politics, but I do like they take real life politics and how someone like Sidious could rise into power.
Yeah.
And which is a very scary thing. And that of course eventually becomes the Empire. So again, story is great. I thought Hayden did an excellent job, especially in this one as Anakin for sure. I liked his look more. Obi-Wan, amazing as always. Again, this movie has a lot of, I think, hearts, has a lot of soul, emotional impact, great story beats. And this is the one that really is the one that turns the scope of the story into what now becomes into the original trilogy. So
yeah, Revenge of the Sith is great for all the reasons you said. I think it's the one with the best acting for sure. Hayden is good. Ewan McGregor he's good in all three of the movies, and I think he's kind of the heart and soul of the trilogy and the anchor as far as like quality performance in all three.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But everyone is good in this movie. The chemistry is better between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. This is the best performance from her. And yeah, this story, like I said, I like all the battle stuff. That's cool. But story is always number one. And this one it's just so emotional and poignant and resonant and heartbreaking. It's really well done. Like you said, I like how you see this slow descent, and you can understand how he was manipulated because the Emperor, he twists this young man's love into this deep-seated fear. And that's a really, really relatable thing. I mean, of course, it's natural to fear loving the person you love more than anything. And then he'd already lost his mother too. So it's like, I'm not going to lose someone again. I'm not going to let that happen again. So yeah, it's completely believable. It's tragic and heartbreaking, and you feel sympathy for him even when he was doing like dark stuff. I don't feel sympathy for him after the turn when he kills all those children. Sympathy is gone, because that's the point of no return. You hurt a child, let alone kill a child. I mean, thank God you didn't really see it. God, I couldn't. I don't think they would show that on screen, but they did show them on the ground, and that is dark. That is dark.
Yes, and it's like what Yoda said to Anakin. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering.
Yes.
So I mean, and what's cool about this too is that this is true in real life. This happens to people. Like people will react and respond to things emotionally based off of fear.
Yes.
Of whatever their circumstance may be. So what's great about this too is that again, this is a real like the stuff with politics. This is a very real life thing in terms of someone what can happen to you mentally, especially. So yeah, I thought that was good.
And that whole confrontation with Padme, and she's just like, you're going down a path I can't follow. It's like she loves him, but this isn't the way he's acting. It's like, this isn't the man she loves. This is a different person. And it's so tragic and so sad. And I know sometimes people think it's like, how could she just lose the will to live? And I don't think it was only that. It was probably after, the toll of giving birth and just dying of a broken heart almost. The combination of those two things
And the force choking.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, she was deprived of air. So it's a combination of all those three things. And yeah, and Obi-Wan just being so devastated. Yeah, because it was like his brother. He did love him, and yeah, they're not supposed to have attachments, but that's not realistic for people at all. And I think the moment with Mace Windu is really great too, where he's so conflicted because it's like the Emperor's manipulating him, but he trusts Mace Windu, and then when he watches him get flown out the window and die, he's like, oh my God, what have I done? I do think that turns a little fast. Like, he's like, what have I done? And then he's like, I'm going to serve you. So in 2 seconds later, that's probably like one criticism I would say of the way he turned that moment. But
yeah, I'm wondering if, and this is giving that scene a benefit of the doubt. I'm wondering if the thought into that scene was more like, he says, what have I done? And then probably in that moment, he probably just thinks, I've already gone this far. Why not just go all the way? Because he basically killed one of the best masters of the Jedi Council. So,
yeah.
It's like, well, I've already done this. What more is there to lose, basically? And at least that's what I'm thinking of how it goes in my head. But I could totally be off base with that.
Yeah. And side note, shout out to Samuel L. Jackson. He's great.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Good in everything, but he's really good. I love that he wanted a purple lightsaber so it would stand out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it is a toss up between the Phantom Menace lightsaber battle and the Obi-Wan Anakin. Which one I like the best? I do think that Phantom Menace edges it out, but this one is great. This one's more emotional and dramatic, so it has the edge there, and it's really cool and well done. And kudos to those actors because they look amazing doing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, the music's great. All the callbacks to the Duel of the Fates and all that music was spectacular, really well done.
Well, and the music too, because it has Duel of the Fates, but it also added like this other part of it, right? Like the chorus and the dramaticness of when they're fighting over the lava and everything. It's like that's when you really have that emotional hit there, because now you're in danger zone, right? You can be killed by the lightsaber or by the lava. And this is if there is a scene that has the word like climactic over it, this would be it. Fighting and hot magma lava everywhere, blowing up and stuff. So you see, it's like this is the end. Like, this is the final climax of the movie right here. So I thought that was a very good, well job done. And again, very emotional. You have that extended piece of Duel of the Fates in there. So good stuff.
And I love the very last ending. I thought that was very really well done and kind of sweet, because it's like mirroring Luke from the original movie where they're staring out at the sunset, holding baby Luke.
Yeah. I was like, man, yeah, very, very, very emotional in that movie. And then of course, as too, you have the very sad moment of it was very short, but the funeral of Padme.
Yeah, so sad. Oh, heartbreaking. And she's holding the little thing he carved her in her hand. Yeah. Just heartbreaking. Okay, so next up we're going to talk about it was your number 9 and it's my number 5, and that's The Rise of Skywalker. We'll start with. I think you've already said some of what you thought, but you can go ahead and say a little bit more.
Sure. So the problem with
We think I know we think very differently about this movie.
Yes. Okay, so I'll try to start differently because before I'm kind of going all over the place. So let me try to think of the stuff I liked. I did like the last battle scene, like the fight ship battle scene minus the horse riding on the ships. I don't know what that was. That was weird. But the whole like like all the ships coming in and the B wings, the Y wings, A wings, TIE fighters, all that stuff. Great. I love seeing huge action packed scenes like that. Story. Story. The problem with the story is because again, Last Jedi butchered what the rest of the trilogy, what the last movie was going to be. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You kill off your main bad guy, and so then you bring back the Emperor, okay, but now he's basically like, just some dude he's almost comatose, and he's just kind of like a mummy just sitting on some giant stick thing, and yeah, that was kind of strange. I like the little machine guys, the little mechanic characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are they called? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but they're cute. I found that I don't know the whole part with Rey. She was training. She was training in the movie, so that was cool. We got to see some of that. But I was very confused on how she was able to know how to use Force lightning. There was that scene where she blew up that transport by accident, and I guess that's where some people say that she's a Mary Sue. I mean, I could probably take it as maybe she's just powerful in the Force or something. But yeah, again, Poe, Rey, and Finn. I don't even remember what they even did in this movie. Like this movie, I probably saw like twice. So like the last Jedi Solo I saw once. Last Jedi I saw twice. Rise of Skywalker I saw twice. For me, that's how kind of forgettable these ones were, because of the insignificance that they had for me in the overall scheme of things. I thought what was cool was seeing Rey in that vision she had as like a dark side Rey. I thought that was cool. Where she had like the red eyes and everything. That was, you know what? I would have loved to see that. Actually, you know what would be even better? Okay, here's what would it be even better. If at the end, instead of her saying, I'm a Skywalker, which no, you are not a Skywalker. You are a Palpatine. What she should have said, I'm a Palpatine. And then she just goes like dark side. Now, of course, not out of nowhere, but I do think in the movie she should have been set up as like a new like dark side Sith Lord upcoming, whereas Kylo could have been now the guy who was bad, regressing back to being good. I think that probably would have been a cool story thing there. Because then if you had Rey as going to the dark side, now you have a new kind of baddie villain you can set up for a new trilogy. So I think that would have kind of fixed that problem there. But no, they had to go, I'm a Skywalker. No, you are not a Skywalker. So do not claim the name. So I did not like that. I'm trying to think of anything else. Again, the story, because of what happened in Last Jedi, when Poe Dameron's like, somehow Palpatine's return, that funny meme. Yeah, how did he return? It's just, I don't know. It's just so much they were trying to rush this and put a bunch of story tie-ins together to try to fix what happened with The Last Jedi. It just didn't work still because of that. My problem too with like Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker is Finn has no importance or relevance. He's always screaming, Rey, Rey, Rey. Like, dude, can you do something? And that's why I feel he was a missed opportunity. I think he would have been a cool like new Black Jedi, because we had Mace Windu, right? And Force Awakens, it looked like he was going to be a Jedi. So that would have been a cool concept. You have first order trooper who is now going against the order. He's Force sensitive. becomes a Jedi, and I think that would have been cool to have fall through in this third movie. But everything just kind of fell to pieces, and then what like Princess Leia is like, you know, she dies in this movie, of course, because unfortunately Carrie Fisher passed away. You know, what was it? I think before this movie came out, right, or before they shot it. So yeah, that was very unfortunate, and yeah, it didn't leave on a good note for me. I don't know, just a lot of things about it. Those are the main things, but again, some of the cool stuff were like the battle sequences. That's what I like, is the battle sequences. The story again is just all over the place. I can't even really pick because I didn't really care that much about it because I'm like, none of it makes any sense. You're trying to tie all this stuff together, but you ruined it when you just completely butchered your second movie in the middle of the trilogy. So I know I'm kind of rambling on all over the place, but I'm trying to think of everything that why I didn't like it, but it was that kind of bad too. I didn't really remember.
Well, if you don't remember things, that's not good.
That's my point.
I really like it a lot. It is a product of trying to fix things from the previous one. So some of it's almost like it's not its fault because it's trying to course correct. It's like, why didn't J.J. Abrams just do all of them? I really don't understand why. It might have been better that way. At least it would have been probably more coherent all the way through, as opposed to feeling more mishmashed.
Yeah.
But given the circumstances, I like what he did for the most part. What did I give it? 4 stars. 4 out of 5 stars. I like what you said. I love that last battle. The horses didn't bother me, but it is a little weird. I love when all of a sudden everyone shows up. That was really emotional, and when Lando's there and you see the Wedge from the original trilogy, you know, and then now he's gray hair. I started crying when he showed up, because it's like that, you know, that feeling from the original trilogy. It's like, oh, Wedge, he came back, you know, sort of thing. This is the movie that I liked Kylo Ren in the most, because he became like Ben again, because he stopped being a whiny idiot and became like what he was before he turned bad, basically, more like his father and mother. And so I liked his arc in this movie. I thought it was well done. Got to see Adam Driver do something besides throw a hissy fit.
Yeah.
I'm not completely crazy about the romantic element of their relationship. It's okay. I understand the connection. I'm fine with them having like this like connection, but the romance is just like, I don't know, because of things he did to her early on. I'm like, oh, that's a little icky. Especially since the first movie, and I said this earlier, the first movie really seemed to be setting up this relationship with Rey and Finn. They were so close. I mean, it's fine if they wanted to just keep it a friendship, but it didn't seem that's the direction they were going. And then all of a sudden they abandon it. And I don't want to think it's because he's black and she's white. I don't want to think that. But I'm like, is that the reason? I don't know. You know, here in America, we don't think anything of that for the most part. But other countries, it's another story. Like, you know, they took Finn off the poster somewhere. So is that the reason? Did they get scared of trying to do something like that? I don't know. If that's the case, that's really, really terrible and sad, because it shouldn't be that way. Because I think his character is great. I do agree somewhat that they didn't give him enough to do that a lot of it was just him sort of screaming, Ray, Ray, sort of thing. He did do stuff though. He was doing things. Just don't remember it. And he, especially compared to The Last Jedi, I liked him way better in all the things he did in Rise of Skywalker, because he's back together with Rey, interacting with her. There was this the other woman that he met who was also a stormtrooper. I thought that was kind of interesting. Though I felt like it was they only added at the same time. I feel like they only added that character in to make sure you knew that she was almost like a Rose replacement. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she was horned in a little bit, but
I mean, but that's the story with this trilogy, though. I mean, the romance stuff goes nowhere with any of these characters.
No, it doesn't. Well, it went the most with Rey and Kylo Ren, because it did. That was the most developed, and she kisses him and then he just dies. That was awkward looking. It was really awkward the way it looked. I'm like, this is weird. I understand what happened. He gave his life for her, which is nice. I like that. And you have to think about the fact of how many bad things he did. Could the character survive and go on? Wouldn't he go to jail? Sort of thing. He kind of had to die, as sad as it is, because he did redeem himself in a way. But I love the moments when he comes back and helps her and they're both fighting Palpatine. It is a little weird that Palpatine returned and they don't explain really how he did. Really? He's like a clone? Is that what it is? He's a clone.
I think so, because we saw a scene, right, where in that area that he's residing in, they have those incubators of more heads and stuff of Snoke.
Right. So it was like a fail safe sort of thing, right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think so.
But I don't know if they would have done that if they hadn't killed the other characters in the previous movie. I don't know.
And that's the thing. It's see, you just mess it up. Now you got to try to figure, oh crap, okay, we killed off the main character, main baddie. Now, how do we fix this and what do we do? Because it's the last movie of the trilogy. And this is also the problem too. I know this movie, I think this one took place a little bit ahead of The Last Jedi, but I think this is the kind of the same problem you still step into when you put the movies in the timeline too close together to one another.
There was a little bit of a time jump. I'm not sure how much. Not years or anything, probably months.
Yeah.
Because Ray'd been training and she'd made some progress. I liked all that. I liked that we still got to see Luke, even though he had died, that he was a Force ghost and brought the ship up and everything. I liked that. A lot of people are like, oh, that's so corny. And I'm like, no, I like that. At least we get to see him, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, I know.
It's sad the way they had to write Princess Leia dying, but that was what are you gonna do? A character was still alive in the previous one, so I do think they handled it as well as they could have, and I do like that they made it that it was her giving her last bit of energy to her son, to it's that was sort of his probably final turn toward good, was that. And I do really love the moment with him and Han Solo, where I find that it's a little ambiguous what that is. It's is that a ghost? Is that in his head? You could probably argue it both ways.
Yeah.
But regardless, I liked the moment because it made me cry, and of course that's Harrison Ford being a really good actor.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
And of course, even though he doesn't maybe necessarily deserve it, that's what a parent does. A parent forgives their child no matter what. So I enjoyed all that. And I do like the moment when she is hearing all the Jedi. And that gives her strength. I thought that was really, really nice and well done. And I'm glad I watched it with the closed caption on, because it says what Jedi is speaking. And it's a little hard to hear and distinguish the voices, but it's saying, you know, Qui-Gon says this, and Obi-Wan says this, and Yoda says this, and Anakin says this, and I'm like, that's really nice.
But here's my problem with that though, is why her? Again, I just want to ask, like, why? Yeah, why her? Why is she the one to hear all these voices of all the famous or well-known, infamous, powerful Jedi?
I have a theory. They could have explained it, I guess. I have a theory. I think it's because she was born of like the darkest dark, but became like the lightest light. So because of her origin, because she overcame from such a dark place to be this like really beacon of like light, you know, sort of like Luke. Even though the difference is though, Luke's father started out good. Palpatine was probably always nasty, you know.
Yeah.
We don't know, but every time we saw him, he was bad. As opposed to Anakin turned bad. He was a sweet little boy. And then, so I think that's probably that's how I see it, because of how far she came, basically. And this, you know, as far as the lightning thing, I think it's well, one, it's involuntary when she did that. I think it was an emotional thing. It probably stemmed from the anger she was feeling in that moment, because that's when Chewie was taken, right?
Yes.
So I think that's what it was. It's like that. It came from like deep within her, basically, and because she loves Chewie so much, so seeing someone she cared about, I don't know. That's like one explanation you can give it. You know, that's the problem. They don't really explain. They don't explain things, but I'm forgiving. I'm very forgiving about little things like that. So
yeah,
and I really like the ending. The ending when they're all reunite, everyone's happy and after the battle, and they have the Rey, Finn, and Poe have like that hug and stuff, and they're very emotional. And I'm crying when I'm watching that, because I love the characters, and I felt the emotion there. And I'm like, okay, in the back of my mind, now can Rey and Finn get together?
Oh man.
You know, yeah. Kylo Ren's dead, you know, so because there's affection, there's clear affection there, you know, it's deep. And there was this thing that they never explained, that Finn's like, there's something I want to tell you. And it's like, you don't know what it was. They never answer that in the movie. You could make up a story in your head. I imagine it's something like, I feel the Force kind of like you do. I feel like he's Force sensitive, because there's like little things that he says to Poe, like, she's okay, I can feel it, you know, kind of like Luke and Leia sort of thing. And I don't mind the end when she calls herself Skywalker, because she's not going to say I'm Rey Palpatine.
but that'd be so cool though.
So I saw someone say she should have said Solo. I'm Rey Solo, because.
But
I'm
why?
Like, I know Skywalker makes more sense to me, because she was close to Han Solo too, and then she was close to Ben. but then she was close to Luke. So it's like I guess you could have argued either way, but Skywalker's the more legacy name, and they were the Jedi. Even though Luke, I guess Ben sort of was too. He was like training to be a Jedi. He never really became one, right?
No, right, right.
But Luke and Leia were like Jedi, so I guess that's why she takes the name, and I think it's sweet. But that's me. I'm an emotional person. I like the sweet moments, so that's why I like that movie. I understand why people dislike it for whatever reason. I do think it's funny that people dislike it more than The Last Jedi. When people hate The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I find that kind of weird because it's like at least they tried to fix some of the problems in it.
Yeah, and also too, I feel like at least stuff was happening in Rise of Skywalker, whereas Last Jedi, nothing was really happening. Where it's kind of like
all the characters were together. Lando's back. The story was more coherent and going toward one thing, as opposed to Last Jedi was like going in a bunch of different directions. But yeah. So what do we have left? Do we just have the top three? Yeah,
top three.
Our top three are the original trilogy. We just varied slightly with our order. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you had Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's my number one. So.
Yep. Which is I would say your number one for Empire is, I would say, most of the fans number one, and mine is actually the least popular, if at all, opinion of Empire being number three. Because I know that most fans rank it Empire, New Hope, and then Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Which is what I did. Yeah, exactly. So for me, like the reason why I had it ordered that way is because I still felt that way even now, even to when I was a kid. Well, when I was a kid, I loved all three movies. I still do. But Empire for me, like when I was a child and even now, it always felt a little more, I don't know.
Incomplete?
Not incomplete, but just more slower pace.
Oh, okay.
For me. And so because of that, it's not my favorite of the three. It's not that it doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's just a slower pace of what I usually like. So for me, with A New Hope, that's the OG movie, and I like it not just because it's the OG movie, but because I do like the everything from the story to the locations that it has to R2's, R2D2's, and C3PO's little venture after they leave the escape pod, the Jawa stuff. You have Ben. You finally meet Luke Skywalker, and just everything like is so nostalgic, that movie for me. But again, like the way it was shot, the sound effects, it's just great. And then you have soundtrack again, the amazing soundtrack score.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the famous Death Star run, right? that's always a good piece. Return of the Jedi for me. So I know I'm kind of going.
That's fine. These. Yeah, we can talk about it all at once. That's fine.
Oh, okay. So Return of the Jedi for me. Yes, the Ewok section is like a silly thing for sure. The little teddy bears taking out stormtroopers and ATSTs and stuff like that. But overall, though, what I liked about Return of the Jedi, there was a lot of like dog fighting in it, especially at the end. Yeah, like the second Death Star. They're flying in there. You have Lando. They're flying in the trenches inside the Death Star. Yeah. You have the big battle. You have the battle of Luke and Darth Vader. You have Sidious there as well. I love the beginning as well of Return of the Jedi when Luke is walking up with like his cloak. He's got the hood on. Yeah. He goes into Jabba's palace and he force chokes the piggies on the side. Yeah. That was great. He fights the Rancor. So there's a lot of stuff in this movie that's just really cool. He rescues Han because at the end of Empire, or towards the end of Empire, Han got captured. Mm-hmm. And now he's up, on a nice wall display for Jabba the Hutt. I love seeing Leia choke the crap out of Jabba. That was nice.
That's great.
You get the whole Sarlacc pit fight scene as well. Oh, that's so cool. Just a lot of good stuff in this movie. Whereas with Empire, I love the Empire had, you have the beginning with the Hoth. You do have Luke and Darth Vader fight. He's telling, Luke about, his sister, and then Obi-Wan comes back as a Force ghost, basically telling Luke, from a certain point of view, the whole thing about his dad and whatnot. Yoda training him on Dagobah. So there's a lot of good stuff in that as well. But for me, because all the characters were on their own kind of quests going on, for me, the movie was a slower pace for me than what I actually like. But again, that doesn't mean nothing in the movie was in particular bad. Sorry, my dog's barking because someone's out there. But all three movies are good. I would say one of the lacking things for sure in just one of the three would just be probably the Ewoks. But in a critical sense, for me, I don't really mind them that much. But they're all three are top tier movies. For me, I give them all like 4 or 5s, maybe all of them 5s, but just in a different order. New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and then Empire. So, I mean, I could ramble on, Girly Nerd, about what stuff I like in the movies, but all three I watched over and over and over again. But I would say for sure Empire, I watched the least out of the 3.
Right. I don't know which one I want. I watched them all pretty evenly. If I was rating them out of 5 stars, I give them all 5 out of 5 stars. It's just, they're almost all even, basically, with how much I love them. Watch them so much. I love them. I love the stories. I love the characters. These are the best characters out of all the movies. The ones I like the best. I love these stories the most. So I have Return of the Jedi's 3rd, New Hope 2nd, and Empire's 1st. So Return of the Jedi, I love the Ewoks, actually. I think they're really cute, and it's not completely implausible, some of the stuff they're doing, because stormtroopers are pretty stupid a lot of the time, and they can't see well, and they're clunky walking around in those suits. And I loved the battle with the Ewoks, because they do all these cool stuff with all the stuff that's available there, basically in Endor, with the rocks and the logs. And I love this the moment with all the logs falling down that embankment, because that is an homage to Swiss Family Robinson, the Disney movie from 1960. George Lucas said that's one of his favorite movies, and he liked putting these little homages to that movie in the battle. I'm like, well, that's fun. And so I like that. Yeah, and the Ewoks are cute. Just cute. I love C-3PO telling the stories and getting scared, and
that's great.
The little baby hugging Han Solo's leg, and it's just cute. So all the humor in all these movies I love. I like the balance between the serious and the funny.
Yes.
So that's why I love them. The ending of Return of the Jedi is very very well done, very emotional, with Luke and Vader, and him saving his son, and when he takes the helmet off, and he's like, I'm going to save you. He's like, you already have. I'm like, oh. And tell your sister you were right. There was a little bit of good still in him. And then with A New Hope and Empire almost even though I give them all the same. I give them all the same rating, but
right.
I love A New Hope. I love Obi-Wan. Alec Guinness is so great. I love the banter with the characters. Love Princess Leia. You know how strong, how tough she is. You know, when she first meets them, and she's like, "This is some rescue."
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, I loved her sarcasticness.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
Great. Princess Leia, Han Solo and Princess Leia are my favorite characters. So you came in here, but did you have a plan for getting out? You know, and then into the garbage chute, fly boy. And Han Solo's like, "What a fantastic smell you've discovered!" It just, I love all that. They're so funny, and then she's like, "Would someone get this big walking carpet out of my way?" You know, oh, poor Chewie. And then she's hugging him 2 seconds later.
Oh, I know.
That's and awesome. Then I love the end when, you know, it's all happy and they get their medals and stuff. And the Death Star run is so iconic. I mean, I think that whole sequence is one of the like probably most iconic moments in all of movies ever.
Oh, it has to be. Absolutely.
You know, use the Force, and then he blows up the Death Star, and then everyone's cheering and hugging, and it's so great. Yeah, I love the banter with C-3PO and R2-D2. It's so funny.
The two of them. Great.
It's so funny. And then the moment with it's kind of devastating with the aunt and uncle. I'm like, oh God.
Oh yeah.
Skeletons. I'm like, oh my God, that's so brutal. And poor Luke. So I think Empire Strikes Back edges it out just a little bit because it has the romance.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, for me, I think that's why it is my number 3, because I'm not really a romance person. Sure. So just, you know, in any really movie. So I think for me, like, that's where the slowness kind of
it is like got a slower pace, but I never feel it when I'm watching it. It doesn't feel slow. That doesn't really make sense. It's like I could tell it is like a calmer kind of movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it drags for me. I feel like all the stuff moves. I love all the training with Luke, and I love Yoda. Yoda's so funny when he first meets him. Like I said, I love Puppet Yoda. So I love watching him like lean in and like throw all the stuff out and act all silly and goofy.
I like when he's like hitting R2 with his cane. He's like trying to take the food. He's like, yeah. You know?
Yeah. And I like the introduction of Lando, where it's like you like him, and then you're like, oh no, Lando, what did you do? And then he turns again. It's like you go, oh, he's not a bad guy. He just did what he had to do, and now he's helping. Mm-hmm. So I love the confrontation, you know, and then of course the iconic moment, you know, I am your father, you know, is really well done. Looks a little dramatic, but it's still it's still good.
Yeah. Well, I will say that the thing that really gives Empire, I guess, the kind of story beat that people love is it really puts Luke as a character like in a really good growth position, right? Because he goes to save, you know, his friends. I mean, that was a whole thing, right? He was training on Dagobah, and he was having, you know, visions. He was meditating, and you know, he could see the vision of his friends, you know, bad stuff happening to him. He's like, I have to save him. And Yoda was telling him, do not go, you're not ready. But what does he do? He goes anyways, you know, trying to be the hero, trying to do the right thing, help his friends out, of course. But what happens? He goes up there, ends up getting smashed. He gets his hand cut off. He loses. And I think for him, as you know, as a character, that's really going to show you, like, teach you a lesson. You know, one lesson is you listen to the master who is training you on this new path you're taking. But 2, you need to know what you're going into, what you're going up against. You know, I think him going up against Vader was a lot more difficult than he thought it would be.
Yeah, it was like a learning experience because he'd had it semi easy. I mean, he was very natural with everything, and right away with when he's training with Obi-Wan with the blaster, I'm like, it only took him a few times to sense it and get it right, and he's the one that blew up the Death Star, without needing the computer, and so he was having like, and not I don't want to call it easy time, but he was doing it without a lot of struggle. So. Yeah. And now for the first time he was struggling, and what does he do? He goes there too fast. He is defeated. He loses his hand, and his friends, or Han Solo gets captured anyway. So
and on top of that, because he not only does he lose the fight, but during the fight he's losing, he gets told by his dad that's his dad.
Yeah.
And now imagine like the emotional response you would have to that, because it's like, well, no one ever told me who my father was. I mean, as far as you don't know your parents. So to come to find out, the big evil bad of this galactic empire, that's your dad.
It's a shock.
I have a billion people and humanoids and aliens in the galaxy. The big baddie is your dad. And I mean, I'm sure that comes as a shock. And again, you get outdone in lightsaber combat. I mean, look, when he went down that shaft in Cloud City, if his friends, Lando and them weren't there to get, or Lando and Leia, if they weren't there to get him, Luke would have probably died, because he's just hanging on that pole, that stick up in the sky. He would have fallen.
There's nowhere to go.
No, yeah. Either TIE fighters would have came and shot him down, or he would have just went down by himself. So I mean, he was literally this close to being killed, and I really think, and this is again why I like that timeline gap, because then towards the end of this movie, he's getting his mechanical robotic hand done. Looking out into like the spiral galaxy, all that cool stuff, but. Once it comes to Return of the Jedi, he comes back, and now you can tell he's more powerful. He has been training more.
Yeah.
And now you can tell he's kind of more, not only physically, but also force spiritually ready to take on his dad, at least. And that requires time. Now, what would happen if you would have started Return of the Jedi like right after that scene of Empire? You see what I'm saying? So I like that there's a long spatial gap between the movies.
It works better for the story, because it gives him time to. I don't know how long it's supposed to have been, but a while, probably. I don't know. They don't explain it, but and yeah, like I said, I love the Han Solo Princess Leia romance. I love the moment where she says "I love you" and he just says "I know," especially since that was Harrison Ford improvising that. It was initially scripted for him to say "I love you too," and he's like, "No, I don't think that's right. I don't think he would do that. I think he would just say "I know," and it honestly makes it more powerful. I think him just saying that. Because it is a way of saying I love you too, but in a different way.
Right. And I mean, that's his way, but he's
how much she cares too. And yeah, I love their dynamic. I love their chemistry. It's great. It's the best romantic chemistry of any Star Wars movie.
I mean, it is. I mean, that's you're right. That's the best one. You actually see it over the course of the movies as well. Whereas these other ones, it's like, especially the sequel trilogy, what are we doing here?
It's all over the place.
Yeah. So this one was done right. But yeah, again, like for me, all three of those movies, they're all fives. They're all fives, just separate orders. And that's why I have also Rogue One right as number 4, because it's in that same timeline. But again, it has that kind of more realistic grounded feel to it. I like the battles. I'm a big action sequence guy. I like it. Story again takes goes right into New Hope. So that's cool stuff.
What's funny is I like all the battles too. It's just it doesn't make the movie for me. Like if I don't love the characters and I don't enjoy the story, doesn't matter how great the battles are if that's not good too. It's like it's the whole package sort of thing. What's funny is so I saw something the other day where people were asking, what's your favorite moment in all of the Star Wars movies? And I'm like, oh, that's really tough. And it's like, yeah, I love you, I know. I love the trench with the Death Star. But low key, my favorite moment is such a silly kind of throwaway moment. But it just shows how character and humor matters a lot to me. And it's in A New Hope when they're bringing Chewbacca up there as like a prisoner and they shoot everyone. And Han Solo gets on the intercom and is talking with the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, what is the line? Wait. I got to hear it in my head. He's like, we're going to send a squad of, negative. We have a reactor leak, largely dangerous, sort of thing. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, that was awesome. See, and it's comedy like that where there's again natural comedy, that you can do, and not like these kind of modern pun jokey things you're implementing in the movie. You know what I mean? Like you can tell there's a clear difference between the two. And I don't mind some of it.
More in conversation way.
Exactly. I mean, okay, for example, a great one in The Force Awakens, which I really liked, was when Finn and Chewie and Han were on a Starkiller base, and they're hiding behind the wall, and then then Finn's like, he's like, that's not how the Force works. So like that was gold right there.
That was good.
That was good. I was like, okay, see, I like that. Yeah. So, but for characters, it's where I'm an oddball. I'm not like most people. Story is important. Characters are important, but for me, I come at it from a different angle. Why? Sure. I don't know. I'm weird, I guess. I don't really for characters. I don't really attach myself to characters too much. I will base a character if I like them one off appearance, which is shallow. I know. 2, are they useless or not? If they're useless, I don't like them. So if what I mean by that is if they're not fighting the enemy, if they're not helping their friends, if they're not helping input themselves into the story to make these progress in any way, they're useless. I don't like them. If they're whiny, cry, if they always get the main protagonist into trouble all the time, useless. Get rid of them. I hate them. That's so that I would judge my characters based off that, not so much as if how like emotionally invested I am into, if that makes sense. I don't know. Or I know some people like to go by if they can relate to the character. I'm not that person. I don't really relate to characters or in movies or TV shows that way. Story is more so does it all make sense? And sometimes even if it doesn't make sense, does it make sense in the logical terms of what the rules set for that universe?
Right.
If so, okay, cool. But and then if it doesn't do that, then it doesn't really make sense, because now you're breaking your own logic in your universe.
Mm-hmm.
And again, story, sequel trilogy, you butchered your story because now your trilogy is 3-piece. Yes, they're individual movies. Yes, you can judge them based individuality, but they all have to be together as one piece though, because it's one arc. It's a story goes together. And if you miss that on one of those, especially the middle one, you're not going to have a good story that flows through with those. So yeah, that's kind of how I approach things. And yeah, I love all the action parts. I can handle slow bits, like slow moving stories, but they still have to be progressing in some fashion, whether it's like information or a new spin on something or a twist, a turn. Something has to be happening within the conversational aspect of the characters for the story to progress. But if it's just going slow and nothing's really happening or progressing from it, then to me that's just plain boring. So for me, I need something to be like happening. It doesn't have to be action, but something interesting needs to be happening. If it's not interesting, I'm now on board. So for me, that's just how I experience movies.
And that's fair. I'm kind of like that with the action. Like sometimes not necessarily in the Star Wars movies I feel that way, but just in general, if I feel like it's going on too long, it's like, okay, enough. I get the point. This looks cool, but I'm like, this is going on too long. And other people are like, this is so cool. I never want it to end. I'm like, that shows how people look at things differently. I don't really feel that way, especially in the original trilogy. None of the action things they're all great. Nothing goes on too long or feels, tedious or anything like that. I do want to ask before we end the difference. So the differences between the original trilogy and the special editions.
Oh.
If I'm picking, I like the original ones without the things added.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't mind the special editions; they're fine because it's not that much that they added, just little things. I'm not crazy about the thing with Jabba the Hutt in A New Hope.
No, that I think for me that's the worst. I think for me, if I remember all of them, that might be the worst one.
Yeah, all the other things are just little things, little like scenery and stuff, and that's fine. I think the big one is, and I want to ask your feelings on the Return of the Jedi, the very last scene.
Oh yeah.
So I love the scene. I love everyone happy and hugging and stuff. But one, they changed the music. And I don't like the new music as much as the original music. It feels like off or something. It's not bad music, but it doesn't feel like it's the right tempo. I don't know if it's just because the other one was so familiar and I saw it so much that anything new just would feel wrong. But I don't like that music. I like what is it called? Yub or whatever, that Ewok thing. I prefer that.
Oh, okay.
And then I have mixed feelings about the Anakin ghost being Hayden Christensen instead of the older actor.
Okay.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm sort of in between. In one sense, it's like it's nice because he was good when he was young. It's before he became bad. So it's like his best self, I guess. But then at the same time, it's like Luke would go, "Who's that?" Like he
right.
He didn't know what he looks like or anything like that. And I do feel bad for that actor as well. Just got taken out of the movie.
Yeah.
And so what do you think about all those changes to that scene in particular?
Okay, so I'm probably in the minority here, but the music, I actually like the change in the music.
Okay.
The yub nub thing of the Ewoks, it's fine. Yeah. It makes sense. But I do feel like that the new music is more of a more galactic celebration.
That's true, and they do have the added scenes with everyone celebrating. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I like it. But the other one really fits for the Ewok on Moon of Endor for sure. So with Hayden Christensen coming in as the Force Ghost, yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm mixed on it as well because I like it in the sense that it's referencing, hey, this was him that we know of from the prequels, before he came what we know as Darth Vader. On the other hand, why is he in like as a young Force Ghost for one? Yoda and Obi-Wan are so old.
Are old, yeah.
Force Ghost, and then two, I know, like I guess he technically redeemed himself by balancing the Force by killing the Emperor, and then of course he died himself. And so I guess he's still technically the chosen one, right? He was the chosen one, but he still did a lot of really bad things. I mean, he still killed all those younglings, and I'm like, does that really deserve the redemption of him becoming a Force ghost? And I thought doing that was also a trainable or like a learned ability you had to train to do. Because I believe Qui-Gon taught Obi-Wan that when Obi-Wan was on the was when Obi-Wan was on Tatooine looking over Luke. And so I believe that, I think if I'm correct, Star Wars nerds out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the dark side users don't have that ability, but the light side users do. So after death, they can retain their consciousness. Not all of them do, but the ones that are trained to do so and gain that ability are able to keep their consciousness as a Force ghost after death.
Okay. I guess because he went back to the light and killed the Emperor and saved the son, that was enough, I guess.
I mean, I guess. I mean, because either way, right? If you have the old actor, would Luke still, in a real sense, know who that was anyway? Because he took off his Darth Vader's helmet, but by that time, he's like, his face is already messed up, basically.
That's true.
So it's like would he even, either way, would he have recognized that was the dad? The only way I would say he would know that's him is because who else could that be, right? You have Yoda, Obi-Wan, and then who else would those two know that would be in that spot, right? So that's how I kind of figure that, whether either way, he would know that's my dad standing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed on it, right? I get it because it's prequels, but then logically, I'm thinking, how does that make sense? But it's not a big deal to me. It's just whatever.
It's not that big a deal. That's why I'm sort of like either or sort of. And I do think, I don't like that they had in the New Hope that Greedo shot before Han Solo. Han Solo shoots him.
Oh,
they kind of changed that.
Actually, you know what? I take the Jabba scene and I put that below that scene. That one is the worst. Now it's severely bad for two reasons. One is because what you said is correct. Han did shoot first. Two, the way they edited that is just like bad.
It looks awful.
Watch it, and it's like this weird like glitch in the Matrix thing he does. I'm like, what is that? Just like, it looks weird.
It is. It's like, it's so poorly edited. I'm like, why did you? I don't understand, because Han Solo's a good guy. He can't shoot someone.
I think per Disney, and this is just how I see this stuff, is it's a gun, shooting's bad. But dude, this is Star Wars.
Oh, that was before Disney owned them. That was just George Lucas doing it.
Oh, that was George Lucas? George Lucas did that?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Not Disney. Not Disney. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's my mistake.
It's almost worse.
But, yeah, that's bad. Okay, that's bad.
He just forever wants to tweak everything. Bless him. It's like, learn to quit.
Okay. Well, so then let me ask you this. So since that was George Lucas who did that, which I didn't know, by the way, that he did that edit. When people are crying and clamoring for George Lucas to come back, or for Disney to sell back to George Lucas, they need to follow their own logic, because people crapped all over the prequels when that came out. That was George Lucas, and if George Lucas made those edits, you crap all over those. So do you really want this IP to go back to him? No, I mean, I get it. He is a great visionary, for sure. Great visionary, creative. But in terms of the rest of it, no. So that's what I'm saying, is like that the fans have to follow their own logic here.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree. I think he's good at coming up with the story. And it's funny, because in New Hope he wrote and directed. It's like, this is so good. It's like, what kind of happened? Why did it go downhill so much as far as like his direction? But other people directed the other movies, and helped with the screenplay. He did the first one, but the other two were joint efforts.
Yeah.
So if he ever I don't see it happening, but he'd be okay, like probably helping with like the story, but a screenplay, no, his dialogue's clunky and kind of sometimes boring. So that is not the problem with the sequel trilogies. It's not the dialogue. It was the overall story beats and stuff.
Yeah.
The dialogue was good, for the most part, natural. Acting's all good. The directing is fine. It's not like boring direction or anything like that. It was the overarching story beats and loose threads that were the main issues. So they just need some, like, I think they just need some good storytellers doing stuff. And I understand why they want to add, more diverse casts and stuff. That's fine, but it's not like they weren't before.
Right.
They kind of always were. There was a girl as the lead, and there was Lando, and they're great. So I don't really get it, but I don't really complain about that. It just has to be well done. Now, I haven't watched any of the shows except Obi-Wan. That's the only show I've watched.
Okay.
And I loved it. I loved it because I love Obi-Wan and I love Ewan McGregor. He was my favorite part of those movies. So I really enjoyed it. I know people laughed at it. That one scene in particular, and I totally get it because it was really cheesy and corny.
It was ridiculous.
It's a tiny little thing somehow manages to escape these people.
Okay. Let me tell you, she's running, and then you have the bad guys like, like hitting the bridge, like they come on.
It's bad. That was not good. But the rest of it is the rest of it's great. I have no problem with anything else in the show. I really enjoyed it. But I know people are like lukewarm on a lot of the shows.
Yeah.
I still would like to watch at the very least I would like to watch The Mandalorian, obviously, and what's the one with Jude Law? With all the kids. Really good looking guy. I think that there's a bunch of kids in it.
Skeleton Crew?
Yes, I would like to watch that. I would probably enjoy that.
Yeah, it's good.
The other ones, I don't know.
So I would recommend Skeleton Crew, Mandalorian, and then from there I would recommend all the animated stuff.
I don't see myself watching that, honestly.
It's good though. It is good. It's good because the Clone Wars takes place in between episodes 2 and 3, and then like the last season, like the newest last season, especially like the last couple episodes, they take place I think around the same time episode 3 is happening. And then in Star Wars Rebels, I believe is sometime in the OT era timeline. Rebels is before Rogue One. So you have a book called A New Dawn, which has the two main characters, Hera and what's it? It's Hera Syndulla, and then you have the Jedi. I forgot his name, but they're the two main characters in A New Dawn, which is the book, and then Star Wars Rebels, which is supposed to be the sequel to A New Dawn. Then from Rebels, you have, I believe, Rogue One, and then A New Hope, so on and so forth. And then then you have the one clone, the Bad Batch. It was okay. Bad Batch was okay, not the greatest. But then the new Darth Maul animated show came out. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard that was really good. Like really great, really great.
Oh, that's animated. I gotta see. I'm a little out of the loop.
Yeah, it's animated. I heard it's really good, and then also, of course, Andor was awesome as well.
Oh yeah, I would like to watch that and give that a chance, especially since so many people were praising it. I don't find myself jumping to watch some of the other ones.
Like, watch them; they're good.
Yeah. I will, but I would say I would most likely just start with the other ones and get to the other ones eventually, but I'm not like clamoring to watch them.
Well,
It's just
I'll tell you this: Book of Boba Fett, no. Ahsoka,
I don't care about Boba Fett. I'm sorry.
That's totally fine. Acolyte, no.
This sounds awful.
Premise, the concept was really dope. Execution, horrible on that. What were the other ones?
There's her name Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, yeah. That one was it's okay. I know that they come out with season 2. I'm sure there's some others that I'm probably
missing. Like that's all of them, but maybe I'm just not remembering. But yeah. Anyway. So thank you for coming on the show and talking Star Wars. It's a fun thing to talk about. We went really long, but it's a lot of movies, so it's a lot to get out. And I want to thank you because even though we think differently about some of this stuff, you're like nice and respectful, which is I have to say is a lot better than a lot of men in the Star Wars fandom.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's hard to be a girl sometimes as in a Star Wars fan. They are not always nice to us.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny is our good friend Jay Shear from How Story Works with Jay Shear. He's so funny because he will not talk about Star Wars with anybody because the fandom drives him nuts. And like you said, the fandom can get pretty bad. You can't even have a civil conversation about Star Wars without someone blowing up at you.
It's not even just against women, it's just against anybody. It's like people have an idea of what it's supposed to be, and if it's not that, it's like they just get really angry and mean and angry sometimes toward the wrong people.
Yes, and I don't get it too. It's like, okay, our list is different. We like the different movies for the different things, and that's fine. I mean, like just because I say Solo should have never happened or whatever doesn't mean that I think you shouldn't or you can't enjoy it. If you enjoy it, that's cool. You love it, that's awesome. Like the movies and stories hit everyone differently, right? It's all art, it's all subjective. And there's some things we agree on, some things we don't. That's cool too. It doesn't mean we have to like call each other names and stuff.
Exactly. It's like everyone's opinion is valid, and it's all good. We all love Star Wars. That's the most important part. So
yes, absolutely. But I do appreciate you having me on, and I can talk about Star Wars forever. It's just there's so much to go into, and I'm just kind of all over the place. So I do apologize about that.
I was too. I didn't really prepare notes. I just was sort of winging it. It's that just makes a nice natural conversation. So I appreciate it. But where can everyone find you if they want to watch you?
Yes, absolutely. You can find me, Mr. Webba, at Webcast Citizen on all social media platforms. So YouTube, Instagram, Threads, Twitter. I do have a TikTok, but I don't really use it though. But mainly YouTube, Instagram, and also you can find me on Orange Grow 55.
Okay, that's great. I thank you again. I hope everyone enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Mr. Webba's channel as well. It's going to be a collaboration between our two channels, so you will see it on both. But I hope everyone has a beautiful, beautiful day and stay nerdy. Take care. Bye.